Hello everyone, this is Prem Kumar and welcome to this new lecture on session timeouts. In the last lecture, we already talked about different types of timeout that determines how frequent we passivate the data, right? Be it pages, be it threads, be it the requester. And in this lecture, we are just going to concentrate on some other timeouts as well. Okay, let's straight away start with that. In Pega, there are three main timeouts. The three timeouts are, the first is the browser timeouts or the passivation timeout. That is the exact thing I was talking before. So using the dynamic system settings or the PR config, we can define the timeouts for the browser. Let's say if we define that for 5 minutes, if the browser is idle, then we can passivate the data or move the objects from the memory into the DB as well as file storage. So that is on the browser timeout. And then we also have other timeouts called the lock timeout. So what do you mean by this lock timeout? We know that Pega uses locking mechanism on cases, on rules, or a different instance or the objects. We can define locks, right? And a user can have a lock onto some object. The main use case of having lock is to maintain the data integrity. If I am working on a case and if I am doing some change, I don't want you to work on the same case because the changes or the data can have the integrity problem, right? Because my data can get overridden by you or the other way around. So that is why the locking is introduced so that we can maintain the data integrity. But let's say if I took a lock on the case, I just went off my system and then I'm not using my system. Then if some other user, they want to use this case or have a lock on this case, unless I release my lock, it's not possible functionally for the other user to obtain. From administrator point of view, there are ways to release lock, but I'm saying in a functional point of view, from a user point of view, right? So that is why you need to have this lock timeout. So you can say like, I set it lock timeout as 30 minutes. So after 30 minutes, if I'm not doing any change, this lock can go into soft lock. When I call it soft lock, it means if other user requests the lock, it can be obtained. But if I start continuing my work, then the data can become active, then the lock will be retained and the lock can go into some active state. So that is what we call it as lock timeout. I'll show you where we can configure that. And finally, the interesting thing that helps with authenticating the session is about the authentication timeout. I hope you might have seen this authentication timeout in other portals also. If you look at the Pega support portal or the PDC, sometimes you will get this pop-up, right? It may say like your session is going to get expired, right? And I believe you all know that those portals are also built by using Pega application. So they used some kind of authentication timeouts. So where can we configure these authentication timeouts? So definitely this should be part of some kind of access security rule, right? The configuration stays in the access group. Okay, now we talked about three different timeouts. Let's go to Designer Studio. Let's check where we can do the configuration. So here I have logged in into the Designer Studio, and first, just like we saw in the previous lecture, let's go to system settings, search for timeout, and there you will find different types of timeout. And the one I was talking is about the browser timeout, right? So after this 900 seconds, after 15 minutes, if the user session stays idle, then it goes into passivated. And then we also talked about pages, and there was an expansion issue. That is why I couldn't show you the thread, but the thread is at the last. So if you go to the thread, so for thread also you can determine the passivation timeout. So this is the timeout, the first timeout we already saw. Now let's look into the lock timeout. So where we can configure this lock timeout. Locking we can configure into the case, and lock timeout can be configured at a system level. So if you go to the system, and currently my system is Pega. Now I can go here, then I can specify in minutes, like 30 minutes is the lock timeout, the default timeout for my current system, because this is my active system. I never created a new system for me, but in real time you will have new system created for your application. So don't just go and update in Pega, but make sure you update your active system. To check your active system, you can go to the landing page and then you can just quickly check from here, like settings and system name. That will give you the active system. Current is Pega, so that is why I can change from here to define the lock timeout. I'm not going to show it in practical. It'll be like a very basic tutorial, but let me show you the authentication timeout. For that, what I want to do is I want to open my access group. So I'm opening from here. And then in the access group, if you go to the advanced tab, there you have the configuration where you can define the timeout for your access group. So if you scroll here, so no timeout will be enforced if value is not specified. If you don't specify anything, there won't be any timeout, but you need to specify a timeout here. So what I can do is in seconds, right? I'm going to specify 30 seconds. If I keep it idle for 30 seconds, I'm going to get a pop-up. I'm going to show it in live. You see here, when I try to click on something, it is again prompting me the username password. So this pop-up can be based on different browser. This is for the Chrome default pop-up. You may also get a different feel when you use a different browser. But then again, I have to re-log in now. And then I can continue. So this is how the authentication timeout is going to work. For now, I don't want to get this pop-up again and again. I'm going to reset it back. Okay, this is the only place where you can define the timeout for your access. Definitely not. There is other place also. If you go to the authentication service, let me open an authentication service. And there also you can configure the timeouts. Here I just opened the platform authentication. If you scroll down, go to the advanced configuration. Closer to the pre-authentication, post-authentication, you will have this checkbox. If you use this checkbox, it will use the access groups timeout configuration. So at the end, it is also pointing back to access group, which we saw just now. And by default, this is enabled. Of course, this is enabled because currently I'm using this basic authentication. So this is enabled, but you can also find it for other authentication service. Just go to advanced settings. There you will find this option. So you can use that option as well. So this is about this session timeout, how you can manage your session. So you have some configuration to passivate. You also having some configuration to re-authenticate. Okay, I'll end this lecture here. In the next lecture, we are going to talk about one important thing, sticky session or session affinity. See you in the next lecture.